engineer.
As an engineer. He's talking about things that maybe some of you don't fully understand, but the whole point is that there's so much more there. He used the word multiverse. That's something that Kryon has used, those very words. And I didn't get a chance to ask him. I'd like to ask him, what did you see when you were there? Because there's a whole lot of talk about things that are quantum and things that are multidimensional now. People are starting to get it.
Except we don't see. I remember Kryon saying, you don't have eyes.
No, we don't have eyes.
On the other side of the veil.
And it's tough to even understand it. And he has got something here. So thank you all.
And I love the simplicity of his message of doing a daily meditation.
That is the key. And if the things that we don't understand, the meditation almost makes it so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you get it,
Absolutely. So I think, again, it's time for our miracle moments, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah, great. It's one of the favourite sections. And yes, time for miracle moments, because miracles happen all the time. And there's so many different ways that miracles unfold. Every single one of us has divinity within. So each of us, we represent a miracle just by being here on the planet.
Within your membership portal is a section called Miracle Moments. So I'd like to ask Monica to share some or one of those miracle moments with you right now.
So we have a wonderful one I'd like to share tonight. I've had to read it a few times so they don't get all teary and weepy, because it just touches my heart very deeply. It comes from Mary Catherine, and Mary Catherine says, Kryon's channels on hope have been very meaningful to me. Hope is the name of our grey tabby cat who travelled in our motorhome with us for over 14 years. During that time, I took animal communication classes hoping to be able to learn from her. When I would try to connect with her, she would give me that not happening look and just walk off. I mean, oh my gosh, I feel for you, Mary Catherine. My goodness. But listen to this. On her final days, I was cleaning where she had been sick during the night. She was watching me with her beautiful Cleopatra-lined green eyes. All of a sudden, I heard her say, "Today is the day, Mum, and you know what to do." She had been sick for several weeks, so I knew what hope meant. I understood her, and I mentally asked her why she had chosen that moment to communicate with me. Her answer was that she knew that I would know that it was real. She told me her time on earth was over because I had things in my future that would be hard on her and that I should not look for another cat. And then she gave me her greatest gift. She said, I loved my name Hope. It's an acronym for heart opening, peaceful energy. And over 4 years later, I felt her energy and she announced that she was ready to return. I was instructed to watch for a cat that looked like a combination of her and a Siamese. And sure enough, as described, a cat named Chansey arrived. Immediately, I saw Hope's attributes in Chansey. I've followed Kryon since 2008, and soon after that, I began to sign all of my correspondences, nothing by chance. Oh, Hope came back to me appropriately named Chansey. Don't you just love that story and the power that we have with our consciousness when it's a love connection that we share with an animal? Creates this beautiful bond, and Kryon has spoken about this, that our animals, that love connection, they do want to come back and be with us. So I love that story from Mary Catherine. But right now, there are many people who are asking for prayers of help. They're requesting our energy. They want our love and energy being sent to them. And so I invite you to close your eyes, and in the quantum realm, let's pull up that request that people have submitted in the membership portal of Healing Wednesday, both past, present and future. It's all in the now in front of you, all of those requests. And so we can't really fix their problem right now, but what we can do is send love and energy. And using the inspiration from Mary Catherine, let us invite all of those animals that have assisted humans in healing. We ask for their presence to join us now. Every animal that has ever participated in a healing moment with a human, we ask them all to join us in this miracle moment, this focused intent of those who are requesting prayers of energy, requesting our help, requesting benevolence, that combined with our love wash that we are sending out to them, there is now another amplified field of energy coming to them from the beloved animals. So many of them that have helped other humans with their unconditional love, their support. And so let's now include others on the planet who are not on that list to come join us. Come be in this energy where they receive a love wash from us and they receive the incredible healing power that comes from the precious animals of Gaia. And so with this intention that we have now had, know that it will keep being received in the quantum realms. And it is time now for us to come a little closer to our own soul. And so let us invite Kryon to come a little closer.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come a little closer. I realize that I'm speaking to a select group who have elected by free choice to be here listening. It is not something that is simply tossed out there as a channel. This one is sequestered to the group. It's why I've chosen the subject I have tonight. Last week, you might remember what the Circle of 12 was, and if you did not hear it or see it or participate in it, I would ask you to go back and find that particular episode of Healing Wednesday and participate in it with me. Because something is happening now regarding the Circle of 12, regarding the new energy that is here. A shift is occurring. It's not the one we have spoken of. And last week I told you of this. It's a higher energy that seems to be sitting upon the population, the consciousness, you might say, the field, the collective. There are all manner of words that would refer to that which is a consciousness group that represents humanity on earth. And that shift and that change is one of allowance. You're starting to be allowed to do more. Now, the allowance is not because of some rule. The allowance is because of a changing multidimensionality of your planet. The allowance is the word we use for you. Will you allow it or not? The Circle of 12 is changing. We're going to go across the bridge as we always do. But last week, perhaps, was just an indication of where this might be going. The circle of 12s have had some commonality, and they will continue to. They're a place where you go to that which is your soul, and you bask in the love that is there. It's a safe place that is there where nothing can touch you while you're there. It's a beautiful place because it's your place. It's more home than the home you might be in now. It's where you go back to and back to and back to. And it's indescribable to you because you don't have the ability yet, with the consciousness that is allowed by you, to truly see it, to truly understand it. And so we structure it for you. And we're going to do it again. I want you to get ready to cross this bridge with me as we have so many times. Please take my hand and let's go. Across the bridge like many times before, or perhaps it's your first time. Either way, you can see a mist approaching that you're going to go through. And on the other side of that mist, you're greeted with love that says thank you for allowance. Thank you for believing that you can make a trip to your soul. Because there are many who still don't, or many who think it's inappropriate, or many who think it's not even allowed. Going home is allowed, dear ones, and in this state that you are in now, you see what you wish to see, which is your soul. It's magnificent. It's beautiful. You might even hear music. There are colors of your own design. It's you. It's the core you. Normally, this is the time where we go through a door, a portal. And as we said last week, not this time. Not this time. Instead, we go to an area. And it isn't even inside, you might say. It's an area where you're going to sit. Some of you may wish to lay down. You may have grass if you wish. You may have a plus mattress if you wish. Anything you want. But I want you to relax because of what's going to happen next. Many, many episodes of the Circle of 12 have occurred in these last 2 years. And almost every single one of them has you discovering something. Think about it. You have a chair you sit in normally. You have an audience that's there normally, and it fills with different kinds of attributes, of energies, of entities, of even you in past lives. We've covered so much. And if it's not in a theater, it's somewhere else where something happens, where you see things, gifts are given, awarenesses are there. There have been a few times that were a little different in rehearsal for this. And this is a time where you relax and you get us to surround you with healing in perhaps a way you've never experienced it before. Now, this is real, and you can participate or not. But if you were with us last week, you know what we're about to do, and I'm going to call it the green mist. The green mist is a metaphor for a thick, angelic presence that is packed with love and healing and understanding and beauty and compassion and kindness for you. And I'm going to ask you to sit there and see it coming if you wish, or lie there and sense it coming if you wish. And here it comes. It's important that you realize that it comes in slowly and that it surrounds where you are. It senses the allowance. It greets your soul, perhaps with a handshake of sorts. And in it comes, flowing right into you, your consciousness, your cellular structure. Everything that is you is now having imbued into it the energy of this profound healing mist, green mist. It is us with you. You're not discovering anything, dear ones. There is no audience. This is for you. This is us working with you. Will you allow it? Yes or no? Last week, we concentrated on one subject, and this time it's another. I want you to understand right now that everything you've ever felt that disturbed you emotionally can be wiped away. And this green mist in every cell of your body, in your DNA, in your brain, in your heart, is ready to retract everything that is inappropriate with you. Has there ever been a time when you cried for weeks? How about we take that away? We cannot take the event away, or the betrayal away, or the grief away. The event happened as it happened, but let us replace it with wisdom. And when you would think about something, you'd smile now and say, that was me learning. That was appropriate. And I am now going to honor it instead of grieve over it. That the green mist can take away anything that is emotionally inappropriate. Some of you are having trouble with frustration or anger, not just grief or betrayal. Let that green mist come in and take away any feelings that you're not worthy. Let it fill you up instead with the fact that you are magnificent. This green mist is real, and it's here for you. Here is a time for you simply to sit and let us work with you. Can you feel this? No interruptions during this time, dear ones. If you have an interruption, I want you to come back and do this again. Because the way these programs are structured, there will be a replay. I want you quiet during this time. I want you to sit and understand the reality. We know your name. And we know what is in there. We know that the inappropriateness of these emotions that you've had, that maybe even have defined your life, can be healed. Really healed. Really healed. Really healed. They can be replaced by something that is so much better. And it's so real that you'll know it when you leave this place. Some are saying, Kryon, can I do this a number of times? Oh, yes, you can. That's why the structure of the program is as it is. I want this episode to be powerful for you. I want you to feel the change. I want you to stay here and stay here and stay here while this occurs. The green mist is working here. There is no visualization of it receding. It's not going to go from the room. It simply will fade when you're ready to awaken back to your reality and go home across the bridge to the earthly home. Dear ones, this is always available, and maybe it's the first time. Don't let this startle you. This is why you're here. Stay. There'll be more. Stay. Quiet. And so it is. The replays. So, here is how Kryon answered that question. Ready? The actual power rests in the physics of consciousness that we have talked about over and over. It shows more than anything how physics of benevolent thought works. Prayer with others is, quote, projected, manifested intent with a group, unquote. There's energy produced here, real energy. Someday you will even be able to measure that energy. When someone is upset, for instance, can you feel it? Can you sense it in the air? If you're close to that person, you often wish to remove yourself from that person if they're upset, since it's uncomfortable. It's the same when somebody perhaps is over the top happy. The energy is almost infectious. Laughter creates laughter. Consciousness has physical energy. So stand by for things that you might not understand just yet. In basic physics, everything happens in balanced pairs. Nothing is destroyed. In multidimensional physics, it's a bit more obtuse. There is a push-pull kind of a system where one energy pushes against a membrane, a potential of another. And it's either seen and used by the pushing or pulling reciprocal potential, or it's not. If it isn't used by the one, then it'll move to anything else that is willing to receive it. I know this is complicated, but it's never wasted. It's always balanced. If you really want to get technical, this is also how magnetism works. By spare electronics on one atom looking for a balanced home with other atoms who don't have enough. It's everywhere in physics, this balanced pair idea. When many humans together are giving pure intent, the energy is multiplied by factors that are not the ones you compute in 3D. The consciousness of physics has its own rules, and you'll discover what they are. But depending upon the energy of the group praying, it's not very, it's a very, very powerful push to the receiver. You may not think it is, but it is. The energy of the group praying is an extremely powerful push to the receiver. Now, consciousness is also filled with variables. And some of them use words like truth, belief, perception, willingness. All of these concepts temper the physics we're discussing, the push and the pull, and the membrane of potential fulfillment that we just talked about. Listen, dear ones, all this talk of physics simply comes to one point. The one who is the target for the healing must match the pattern of the senders. We'll call that compliance of energy. Some get healed, some don't. Some have miracles, some have nothing. Do you ever wonder about that? Do you see how this might make sense now? The pushing and the pulling and the reception and the physics of it? It really is basic round pegs and round holes thinking. And it explains why prayer often seems to fail. And sometimes it works spectacularly. But the energy of it is never wasted. If the recipient cannot receive the energy of the benevolence being created, for whatever myriad of reasons that might be there or filters that get in the way, the energy does not dissipate into the ethers. Instead, it gets amplified back to the senders. You knew that, didn't you? In a balanced way. Did you ever attend a gathering of meditators or those who are praying for others and you felt so much better when you left? Now you know. This is what's going on.
What a beautiful explanation from Kryon about how and why the power of human consciousness coming together with focused intent is so powerful. So let's use that information together with the affirmation we gave about our higher self for a brief meditation. I invite you to close your eyes and contemplate the golden angel that lives inside. This divine energy is constantly pushing love and benevolence to you, for your life. Do you give permission to receive this pulsating energy of love and benevolence towards you? As you contemplate that golden angel, which has no face, has no form, has no shape even, it is just light and energy, you may wish to have it shapeshift just for this moment, to give it more personality, personal to you. So imagine yourself in a glowing colour of vibrant pink purple. Your entire physical body is now pulsating in a violet, pink, purplish light. And now this pink, purplish aspect of yourself pulls away from you and steps in front of you and looks at you. And you can now give this shape, identity, a personality and a face that is your higher self. It is you, an aspect of you, and it is here to enhance your life. So now that we say, yes, I am ready to have my life enhanced, let us hear more from Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. So many questions about confusing things. Every single one who is listening or viewing me right now can also view or listen to the Circle of 12, which is coming a little later. So I want to make this particular channel a precursor to the Circle of 12, which you can also view and see. But there is so much more right now. You have just heard an answer from some years ago that I gave regarding a collective energy of prayer. It may be very, very complex, the answer, but let's put it this way. If you pray for someone to be healed, and what if that someone doesn't feel that they are worthy at all? In fact, what if that was what they learned from birth? They are not worthy. So they can have prayer, but God has to heal them in a certain way because they are unworthy. I will tell you right now that their filter of unworthiness will temper how much they get from the group who is praying. You knew that, didn't you? You had to know that. This balanced push and pull energy of benevolence and kindness and beauty of prayer to someone else, that someone else has to be on the receiving end. They have to be ready to catch the ball. And that ball is kindness, compassion, and healing. But if they're not ready to catch it, and they're saying, I am not worthy, I have a filter that says, this probably won't work. Didn't work for somebody else, it's not going to work for me. It probably won't work. Have you ever had this explained to you in this way? For those of you who might be in trouble right now, and you need that which is the energy from the others, I ask you, are you ready to catch that ball? Or do you deny it? And you might say, no, I'm ready. I need it. I didn't ask if you needed it. I ask if you were ready to catch the ball. Tonight's channeling will be one of 4 and will be the prologue, you might say, for the Circle of 12 to come in just a few minutes, that all of you can watch and continue to watch. And this particular channeling and the 3 others that will follow this month, I am titling Conversations with an Angel. And even before we get to that angel that you may converse with, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think about an angel? You can tell where this is going. There's going to be 4 messages given. But what if you're not ready to receive them? Here we go again. What is your idea of an angel? It's so interesting, is it not, that those who would listen to this and see it as a channeling and then close the door because they don't believe in channeling will still believe in angels. It's almost worldwide. Almost every organized doctrine has space in it for stories about angels. And so you ask to yourself, what are they? They seem to have occurred in the sky before masters are born. They give messages. They appear to certain humans a certain way. They give very long messages. Sometimes they give an entire doctrine. Comes from an angel. Who is that angel? That particular answer might be debated over and over. Is it a master? Is it God? Is it a representation of God? Who is the angel? But no one questions the authority when they show up and give a message. What's the first thing the angels say? Fear not. Why would you fear this beautiful entity that would come down, often looking like a woman? They're not always women. It depends upon, if you've noticed, the hierarchy. By the way, if you want to take a look at the hierarchy of angeldom, that is a mirror of the hierarchy you have assigned to yourselves. You do understand that, do you not? You often mirror your own hierarchy, your own beliefs, your own who's in charge and why, and then you put it on divinity. I'll tell you about angels. They're beautiful, beautiful, multidimensional entities, if you wish to say that, with sentience, that always represent the most divine of the divine, the creative source. And when they show up, quite often it's spectacular. And that is why there's fear. You don't see a woman with a halo in a beautiful outfit. You see multidimensionality at its grandest, where things swirl around and there are lights and you don't understand it. And sometimes you feel the multidimensionality of it, which doesn't really meld with 3-dimension. And you feel it in the air and you're afraid. And this is why the messages have always been the same. If they were translated correctly, when an angel appears anywhere for any reason to any human being, they always say, don't fear me. Because part of me is part of you, and here's the message that I have. Sometimes the scripture will say that an angel will appear and the humans fell upon their faces. They didn't kneel, they fell upon their faces because there was so much energy there that was divine that they straddled themselves on the ground and were afraid. I give you this because the angels you will meet are going to be like that. But they won't frighten you. They'll come at you in a way that is so beautiful and kind and benevolent. And the first one you will meet tonight in the circle of 12, the message will be, who are you? You don't even have a question. You're not allowed a question. Because these 4 angels are going to give you information about you that you need to hear in ways perhaps you think you've heard before, but not in the energy that is going to be given this night. I'll give you a hint. This first angel in the circle of 12 will come to you. You're not going to go to it. And this will be common. It's a paradigm that exists and has always existed in almost every single doctrine. You don't call for the angels. They come to you. And they come to you many times when least expected. This one you will expect. This one has a message for you. I want to tell you what the message is going to be. I'm not going to tell you how it's going to be delivered because I want you to stay tuned for that. It's beautiful. This message from this angel is going to help you catch the ball. Oh, listen to me. If you're in trouble, you need to hear this one. If you need a healing and you're expecting it to come from groups and people, how do you feel about yourself? Do you deserve it? That's the big one. That's the first one. Do you deserve the healing? Or have you been told by someone, somewhere, that you were born dirty and don't deserve anything from God or from any person? How are you going to catch the ball of divinity when you don't even see it coming? How are you going to catch the ball of divinity when you don't want to know what it looks like? How are you going to catch anything when you don't even know what it's thrown or don't deserve to catch it? Those are the questions, are they not? This is the angel that's going to describe you. And you may think you've heard it before, how God sees you, how you see you, how the rest of the multidimensional world sees you that you have no idea of, how your soul sees you. I want you to stay tuned, because in just a little while, I'm going to ask you to come a little closer, and together we will cross the bridge and meet the first angel who's going to tell you how to catch the ball. I am Kryon. This is a new energy, dear ones. This is a new energy. And you're all part of it. Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it? And so it is.
And following that beautiful message from Kryon, I invite you to bring that energy back with you as you bring your awareness into your body. Relax into the arms of the loving energy that we've just received. Have it hug you for the rest of the evening. And in this beautiful hugging pose and posture, I want to tell you about this amazing guest that we have joining us this evening from Europe. His name is Andreas Goldeman, or as the Western people like to say, Goldman. And I want to make sure Andreas is on the Zoom feed with us. Andreas, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Monica and Lee. Yes, definitely. Looking forward to be with you tonight.
Well, we are so excited that you're taking time